What's good? What's good, my beautiful infinite beings? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. In this space, we engage in spiritual alchemy to help you realign, transform, and live your best life. Destiny swapping is a thing. If you've noticed that your energy levels are low, sleepless nights, all sorts of things, and your world's been turned upside down, and you just met someone or just recently started engaging with a new friend, you better check for destiny swapping. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Years ago, I was friends with someone. She would always talk about how blessed I was, the relationship and the man that was in my life, the way that I did things, my spiritual blessings, and she wished she had those things too. She would often question me about what's going on in my life. I didn't think of anything of it. And she, who was very dissatisfied with her life, would constantly complain about her partner and how she didn't have the seeming love that I had in my life. She would ask for advice and would listen in as I told her of my plans. And then one day, something happened out of the blue, and our situations were completely reversed. I was facing the turmoil that she was previously having in her life, and she was then using my ideas to start a business which took off, at least for a time. My job status changed, my income status changed, and my relationship turned around for the worse. Whereas all of a sudden, she became his bestie and began to infiltrate a life with him, as well as her partner, who was actually related to him. She would then talk about how toxic he was treating me and get me all riled up with thoughts and feelings that I wasn't having prior to her calls, and somehow end up nearby to console him and or speak to him. If you've been through this or some type of similar situation unexpectedly, quickly, it might be destiny swapping. Let's talk. Infinite being, use your intention, love your life. You've probably heard the idea of destiny, right? It's that overarching plan or path that our soul is here to fulfill. But what if I told you that there's this phenomenon in the spiritual community that suggests it's possible to swap destinies with another soul? It sounds a bit out there, but stay with me for just a bit. Spiritual destiny swapping is the idea that through conscious or unconscious energetic exchanges, individuals can exchange life paths, lessons, or even soul missions. This doesn't mean you're living someone else's life, but rather that aspects of your journey and theirs can intertwine, overlap, and even switch in profound ways. It's an energetic shift that often happens during significant encounters, relationships, or spiritual awakenings. Destiny swapping can occur through deep connections, karmic ties, or as a response to universal energies. Have you ever met someone that you felt that after meeting them, your life took a completely different direction, or that you suddenly gain an insight or gift that felt unfamiliar but powerful. That also might be an example of destiny swapping in action. Now, you may wonder, why would something like destiny swapping ever happen? What is exactly the purpose behind it? The concept of spiritual destiny swapping often occurs when souls are ready to grow in ways that they couldn't on their original path. It's collaboration between souls to help each other evolve. Sometimes it's about shedding outdated karmic contracts or embracing a new soul mission that more aligns with one's highest potential. Imagine your life as a storybook, and then halfway through, a new chapter begins that you didn't expect. But the chapter feels a little bit more right, a little bit more in sync with something that feels right. Even though it's a little unfamiliar, destiny swapping can offer a good way for you to embrace new roles, new lessons, and new energy, all of which serve your growth. But it can also be a somewhat negative experience. There was some time a few years ago where I was watching a show, I believe it was called Alchemy of Souls. It was a South Korean Netflix show that I enjoyed watching. And during the course of it, there was actually magic performed wherein one leader swapped his destiny as he was dying with another man and then took on a role as this man took on his life, his time with his wife, all of that. I say that to say there was an actually beautifully depicted scene where there was an energetic exchange that went on. Of course, there was a negativity here, and a soul swapping doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be negative, but it can happen. Be truly careful when you're connecting with others, and we naturally, when we connect with others, can have an energetic swap that goes on. Beware of who you interact with. There are those of us who may have some skills or gifts where they can swap destinies with you. It might be through spiritual practice or simply intention based on things like envy or other considerations. You'll notice that interaction with them can cause you to feel drained, distracted, confused, or even triggered, while they seemingly pretend to care about you, or maybe they even exhibit tough love toward you. Their access to you is required. So you will notice that not only do you feel drained, for example, but your whole situation, your destiny turns uncomfortably to a different direction. But their access to you is required. So in order for them to access you, you must give consent. When you cut off that consent and it is not allowed, they will not be able to swap destinies with you. These energetic vampires may want your life or aspects of your life, and if you allow them access, they can willingly disturb and or swap destinies with you and take that part of your life. For them to gain access to you, they need to be near you in some way or open to you some way. They need to get close to you. So they may befriend you. They can even do this through texting or calling you all the time, being in your space, in your physical and energetic space. They will call when it's not even on your mind about certain things and discuss things that bring you down. Maybe they'll point things out. For example, I've had this in the past where Someone will call and point out things you weren't thinking about your partner, your spouse, and bring you to a place of sadness about things, or causing self-doubt or relationship doubt based on things that they've observed and now they're talking to you about. I had a person that I considered a new friend, and I was dating someone that she knew, and she was into their cousin. She was having problems with this cousin, and she would call me every day, and I would be completely exasperated, only to find out eventually that she was doing her best to be needed by the cousin and by my mate as well. And she basically would not only cause issues with her words, but energetically. Eventually, my great relationship turned into the bad relationship that she was experiencing with his cousin. And there was a switch there. It was not only a detrimental situation, it was completely destructive. You see, if that person can completely destroy your life and take that part of your light, they can easily access you and swap destinies with you. So I say this not to cause alarm, concern, or fear, but to help you to see that some people do have the gift to be able to do such things. And it's up to you to be very careful. If you are talking about things even from time to time and you notice right after you talk to that person something bad happens, you might want to consider what is actually going on here energetically and spiritually and redirect your energy. It's as though there is confusion that this person, once they insert themselves into your life, it occurs, and now all of a sudden you see yourself where that person was when you met them, and they now have the destiny and or what you had in your present moment prior to meeting them. So really be careful where you set your sights and who you engage with. If this is a person that is constantly leaving you feeling drained or upset every time they call, like this woman would, then there's something to it. Be careful. They might not even knowingly be doing it out of envy, or they might actually be working with the energy to cause that to happen. Careful about allowing in distractions or things that keep you from being your best. Stay on target. Stay within your own personal connection. Vet anyone that is giving you advice. Make sure that they are a person that is trustworthy and or doesn't have any familiar spirits or anything that would discourage and or distract you from your promise, from your ultimate success. Experiencing a spiritual destiny swap, the signs can be subtle and yet powerful. You might notice some key indicators. Here's what to look out for. A sudden change in your life direction. You might feel like your life has taken a turn that you were not expecting. It could be the loss or creation of a new job, a relationship, or even a change in how you view the world. These changes feel almost fated, like God, the universe, is trying to steer you in a new direction. There may be unfamiliar gifts or talents emerging. Suddenly, you might find yourself interested in something you weren't even looking at before. It could be a good thing. Maybe that something wasn't even on your radar. Or perhaps it could be a spiritual gift, an artistic talent, or a new way of thinking that seems to just come out of nowhere. A strong connection with someone who alters your path. If you meet someone and feel like your life shifts drastically afterward, either positively or negative, this could simply be a sign of the destiny swap. It's often thought that these soul connections, whether romantic or platonic or familial, can bring about the most significant change. There might be also intuitive nudges or dreams that come in. Perhaps your intuitive nature will be more informed. You'll feel a nudge towards something or someone, and you may receive visions or thoughts or symbols or messages in your dreams that suggest a change in your spiritual path. Pay attention to these signs. They are often our signals that a swap is in progress. You might be wondering, how do I navigate this destiny swap with grace? What do you do if you suspect a destiny swap is happening in your life? First and foremost, trust the process. It is easy to feel a bit overwhelmed when your life takes a sudden shift, especially as a highly sensitive person, HSP. You're more in tune with your energetic flow of the universe, so these changes can feel a little bit more intense for you. One thing you can choose to do is surrender to the shift and recognize that it's happening because your soul is ready for something new. Surrendering, though, doesn't mean giving up. It means allowing the flow, receiving the change rather than resisting it can be helpful to help you navigate with grace and flow. Perhaps you choose to cut spiritual or physical or emotional ties with another that has come into your life. Maybe you pray and call your energy back. Incorporate a practice such as meditation or reflection. Spend time in meditation, journaling to collect and connect with your inner guidance. As you remain with your higher self, the new path will be more enlightened. You can reflect on any fears, false evidence appearing real, or resistance that you might feel, and gently simply release them. You can honor old paths and embrace the new. If you feel like you're stepping into someone else's shoes, know that you're not abandoning your own journey, but you're enhancing it. It's important to honor the path that you've been on, but also to welcome the new opportunities that come your way. Trust that any soul contracts that come in didn't happen by accident, that these are soul contracts possibly that are at play here. Agreement. Soul contracts are agreements that are made before this lifetime to help you evolve, and trust that you are exactly where you mean to be. You can also choose to set a clear intention during a meditation, even if that means a shift in destiny. Ask God or the divine, the universe, for guidance in manifesting the right changes in your life. Perhaps other deeper practices on healing can be incorporated, such as meditation, spiritual warfare, chakra balancing, breath work to help clear energetic blockages that may prevent a destiny shift or may block the destiny shift that is what you are supposed to be shifting into versus being placed in by an interaction. Some will choose to explore past life regression. Be mindful of these signs and synchronicities around you. When a destiny swap is near the universe, God, the divine, will communicate through symbols, numbers, or something that seems like it might be coincidental, but try to stay open and present so that you even notice that these things are happening. Allow for the reveal of the guidance that they offer. As we come to the end of today's episode, I want you to remember that spiritual destiny swapping isn't necessarily something that you would fear or resist. It can be a beautiful part of your soul's journey and an opportunity for growth and expansion and transformation. Whether you feel like you're in the middle of a destiny swap or simply curious about that concept, trust that everything unfolding in your life is happening for your highest good. You are exactly where you need to be. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode on spiritual destiny swapping. If this resonated with you, please share your thoughts in the comments or leave a review. Share with others that you think the episode might resonate with. As always, don't forget to subscribe and stay connected for more soul-deepening content. And until next time, honor yourself and your journey. Keep shining your light. Smooches.
Well, my loves, this is it. It's been a wonderful time talking with you again. I'm so glad I got to regroup and share. See you. Smooches.
Thanks for watching, Infinite Beings. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, smooches.